trading journey started about 16 years ago when I was 20 years old. I was a traveling musician. I was doing that for my job and was looking for a hobby to do while I was on the road, and ended up finding the foreign exchange market, Forex in particular, and got involved with a signal service. This was back 16 years ago, and started a demo account, MT4, and tried the signal service and ended up making like $13,000 on demo in a matter of a couple weeks. And I was hooked at that point and thought that I got to try this with real money. This is a huge find. And ended up putting $5,000 down and ended up losing over $3,000 of that in a matter of a few days. And realized, oh my gosh, is this gambling? What is happening here? Why am I losing this money? I thought this should have been working. And so you've seen it before happen, where you get involved with real money and things just fall flat. So I still was curious about the Forex market. I did go on a break after this experience and tried to learn some things behind the scenes and didn't really put any more money on the line until I got married and decided that I wanted to try to, push my income to the next level. So I decided to put $30,000 on the line this time and ended up losing all of that in a couple of weeks as well. And that really hurt me this time. That one hurt a lot. And it hurt so bad that I actually had to put my Porsche up for collateral that I was driving. It was my pride and joy at the time at 22 years old. And ended up having to move into my in-laws' basement and almost had to file bankruptcy. It was a really, really tough time, and really had to try to push through that. And I promised myself and my wife that I would only demo trade for the next many years. And I ended up doing that. I ended up demo trading for a long time after that and trying to understand this market. And it was a difficult time. Almost lost my marriage because of all this, even with the demo trading, because it was a hot discussion even with demo trading because of how much damage the foreign exchange market caused to me personally and in my marriage. And moving on from that was a very difficult thing, because when you think that something has damaged you and hurt you so much that it's probably good to just cut it out completely. And that might have been a mistake of mine. Maybe I should have cut it out completely. But 16 years later, I've learned quite a lot of lessons, and I am where I am today as a trader full-time trader over the last 2 years. And I've been trading the Forex market for 16 years, and it took me 14 years to get to the point where it's actually a full-time income. And it was an easy road. And you can see that the trials were definitely challenging in the beginning. And it wasn't until about 2015 where things really started to change for me. So that was about six years ago. And the reason why it started to change is because I got involved in looking into algorithms for MT4 at the time, MetaTrader 4. And I thought that this software was pretty powerful and realized that expert advisors were a pretty interesting thing. And trading on autopilot was an ideal situation for me, since I'm a pretty emotional person, and realized that I needed something to help combat my emotions, and EAs seemed like a really good idea. And the technology was still fairly new at the time and still evolving. But I spent a lot of time on the charts at the time. By 2015, it had been like over 10 years of trading at the time, and it was a learning experience, trying to find patterns that worked and that showed longevity. And it wasn't easy either to find a pattern that was effective in the Forex market over many years of time. And eventually I came across an inside candle. And by looking and studying the charts so much, I started looking at where price would reverse with and against the trend, and found out that inside candles were something that showed potential. And so I developed an algorithm that showed some really good results backtest results over 3 to 5 years of time, and thought that, hey, I think I have something here. And this was back in 2013. And by 2015, I had learned more and was involved in tweaking my new algorithm, my new EA, to the point where it really started to make some differences. And you can see from my results here on my live accounts that I was really starting to make some headway in 2015 and 2016. 2017 was a difficult year because everything came crashing down. My algorithms that I had built, the two that were successful at the time, actually ended up failing as well. I pushed them too hard, was looking for too much profit every single month of around 10 to 20%, in some cases 30% profit, thinking that I was basically inhuman. I knew everything about trading, and I was able to take 20 to 30% a month, and I was so very wrong. Trading is something that takes years to understand, and for you guys out there, realize that too much profit gets you into trouble. If you're trying to take too much profit from the market, it doesn't matter if it's stock market or futures or any asset or any market, you should try to be more conservative, because all of my bad experiences have taken place because of being greedy, being irrational, trying for too much profit, trying to push my algorithms, trying to push my strategies to the point where they break. And this is something that I hope that you can learn from this video. Trading is worth it. It is worth it if you start down the right path. There are so many different scams out there that push us in the wrong direction, give us the wrong idea, are misleading, to say the least. And these things should be ignored. You should be looking for conservative profits of 1 to upwards of 5% a month. If you try for more than that, I think that you're going to run into trouble. If you can be consistent with your strategy, whether it's my strategies or my EAs, but any strategy that you're using, if you can be conservative and consistent, then you've made it, I think. You're in a 5% crowd of traders that's pretty rare. And that's something that you should be excited about. But it takes a lot of work to get to that point. But staying conservative and understanding the reality behind trading is where you should be focused on, because that will get you to where you want to be. And that makes it all worth it in the end if you realize that trading is a conservative game of preserving capital. Okay? Thanks so much for watching, everybody. See you on the next one.